Hello everyone, my name's Giselle, and for the past 4 years now, I have done the Meet the Artist trend on the 3rd of November, and that was creating a big problem for me because my birthday's on the 12th of December, and so for the last 4 years, my Meet the Artist drawings have become invalid after like a month of them even existing. So this year, I waited until my birthday, and I've decided to make a video talking about myself.
The basics.
Okay, so first of all is the most basic stuff. This is stuff that I feel like most people who have been on my channel or art accounts will already know. My name is Giselle, as I said already. I am 20 years old as of when I'm posting this, probably. I'm 19 right now, shh. And I have a lovely little kitty cat named Livy. And I am from Aotearoa, New Zealand.
How we started art.
Next I want to talk a bit about why I started art and why I currently do it. I started art in intermediate school. I would have been about 10 years old. I was obviously a big loser. Like, I loved anime and cartoons and games and all that kind of thing, and at the time it wasn't cool to like that kind of thing. It was lame and embarrassing. And then at one point my mom saw me draw one of those characters, and in my head at the time it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, I didn't even really consider it something I did super actively. It was just that I liked a character. I can't even remember who it was now. And so I drew her. I think it might have been from Glitter Force, but you know, my mother was super excited about it. I remember her telling me super adamantly that it was so great and she loved it. And then that week she ended up buying me how to draw anime tutorial books and a sketchbook. I keep all my sketchbooks in this big folder now because it's more convenient for me. But I do, since it was my first sketchbook, I did keep the cover of it. Sorry, it's like heavy and miserable. But yeah, I liked feeling good at something, and so I kept going with it. And eventually, when I was like 12, probably, I started struggling because of various things I won't get into, and so I started really wanting to use art as a way to express that, almost like a diary, I guess, and it's very embarrassing. I have huge portions of old art that I can never show anyone because they're so edgy. There's even a few where I did basically just write diary entries for the background, like it would be a character and then just writing in the back. But regardless of how edgy it was, it did give me a new push to draw, I guess. And then I started watching people online, like Lavender Town, Drawing with Waffles, and like animation meme channel. I discovered digital art. Up until that point, I'd been doing mostly watercolor and acrylic painting and sometimes like colored pencils. And I still love traditional art, but I really fell in love with the look of digital art. So for a little bit over a year, I saved all of my pennies, and since I was starting college the next year, I convinced my mother to pay for the last few $100s of the huge iPad Pro and Apple Pencil that had come out pretty recently at that point. I think it's like an old one now, but at the time it was really cool. I have the iPad. It doesn't work anymore, obviously, but I did draw with it for like 6-ish years, and before it entirely broke, the last like 2 years of that, it was definitely on its last leg. Like, I couldn't use it without it being plugged in. This had happened. I'm pretty sure it's like battery expanded. I don't know if this is unsafe to have. Back to the sequential series of events. A lot happened obviously between me getting the iPad and now, but I think the most important parts were I drew this thing, I became a furry, I made edgy fantasy OCs, one of which was a self-insert that I gave insane proportions to. COVID happened and I fell deep into anime art style depths. I decided I'd never make it as an artist and started drawing super simple cartoons, since I was now drawing purely for fun rather than with a goal to express myself or, you know, do something or be something. I made an OC that I love and found a bunch of old Notes app diary entries that made me fall back into a need to express myself. I posted a video turning Minecraft mobs human and people were nice about it. I drew that thing again. I kept drawing and expanding my characters. I wrote out the story comprehensively, and now I'm about to start the storyboard portion of the story. And my Notes app is filled with many more ideas for many more stories. The end. I don't feel like that's that crazy of a story. I liked art, almost quit, and now I'm still doing art.
Inspiration.
So this will be a bit of a list of my current biggest inspirations. This list changes a lot, obviously, but I still think it'll make a decent, like, suggestion list, I guess. First of all is the Final Fantasy series, especially 7 and 15. Next is Bravely Default 1 and 2. Then is Narnia, The Labyrinth, Madoka Magica, Mob Psycho, Frankenstein, the book, not the movie, the Neapolitan novels 1 through 4, Chlorine, Heaven, Play It As It Lays, Orpheus Builds a Girl, In the Dream House, Winter in Sokcho, and Fairy Tale.
My favorites.
Is my favorites. I kind of want to do like one favorite from every category, I guess. It feels weird to just do like my favorite thing, full stop. Favorite visual artist, first of all, is Lavender Town. It might be obvious since I brought her up earlier as one of my gateways into art stuff, but I have loved her videos and her art for the longest time. Obviously her art style has always been super cute. I think everyone had a stage where they were like obsessed with that style of art at one point or another. But especially recently, I feel like her art is so awesome. I was watching one of her videos just a few days ago where she redesigned the grandmother from Dandadan, and I loved the redesign so much. I had to send it to people that don't even watch art videos so I could talk about it. Like, it was just so cool. If you watch some of my older videos, you'll see it's kind of obvious, but I was definitely trying to emulate her a little bit. I am a shy person, but I'm not really a quiet person. Like, it's not really shown in my voice at all. But for some reason, when I was first making these videos, I like forced a quieter voice. I know that usually people online try to be like louder and stuff, so it might be a bit crazy of me, but I've always loved the feeling of Lavender Town videos and just like quieter videos generally. So I don't know, I wanted that for myself too, I guess. Of course, it's my favorite YouTuber. I've been watching YouTube for a really long time now, so I've kind of been into a lot of different YouTube categories, and it still changes a lot. So even though I wanted to do only one favorite, splitting it up again, and I'm doing 3 YouTubers for different categories. Obviously for art YouTube, it's Lavender Town. Then for gaming YouTube, I love LD Shadow Lady. I loved LD Shadow Lady's and Mouse videos a lot when I was in like primary school, and for some reason, semi-recently, I've been so obsessed with LD Shadow Lady again and like binging everything I missed in the time between, which is a lot. And then there's commentary and I guess video essays. And for that, I of course choose Shan Spear. I started watching her and I think, I don't know what year it would have been. It was like 3 years ago now. I loved their videos so much. They put so much into the costumes and the backgrounds and the thumbnails and like literally every part of the video. There's so much effort going into it. And then of course the actual like content of the video is really good too. I don't know, I just feel like she really truly puts so much into those videos. Like, no other video essay hits the same after a Shakespeare video essay. Favorite musicians, I love Los Campesinos. I originally started listening to them around the end of primary school because I found them on YouTube. I think that was about 9 or 10 years ago now, which feels insane. I think the first song I found of theirs was Songs About Your Girlfriend. And honestly, that's probably still a contender for my favorite of their songs, along with Long Throws, Let It Spill, To the Boneyard, By Your Hand, and We've Got Your Back. I feel like that list is too long to be a favorite list. I just like their music. My favorite book. This one actually changed just this year to the Neapolitan novels, which is strange. They're a pretty different style than I normally like, but I totally fell in love with the books anyways, every single one. It was so difficult for me to stop reading. I had to pace myself. I read I limited myself to one of the 4 books each month because I knew after reading the first one that if I let myself just read the series, I'd finish it in like a week. I loved the Neapolitan novels. They're so awesome. My favorite movie. My favorite movie is Thelma and Louise, which, now I'm thinking of it, could actually make the Neapolitan novels make more sense. Thelma and Louise is of course super widely known. I won't advertise it to you. But I get so excited every time I see 2 characters in a turquoise Thunderbird convertible. It happens way more often than you'd think, and I like to believe every single time it's a reference. It probably is. I don't know what it is. It's a somewhat simple movie, but maybe that's part of what I like.
Just Poupineuron.
Okay, I feel like I should talk a bit about the drawing you've been staring at this whole time. The first thing you might notice is all the nurse sharks. I love sharks. I found them super interesting as a kid, like a lot of people do, I think. And I even have some shark teeth I was gifted back then, but I didn't understand that people online were liars, and so I would look up like cool videos of sharks, and get stuff about how evil and scary they were. And so for a while I was in this weird mix of being super interested in them, but also super afraid of them. Which was weird because I'd been fishing a lot in my life and there had been sharks a few times, but for some reason that just made me more scared because I thought that like the beaches near my house must have the same amount of sharks as like all the way out where we were fishing. But now I am older and wiser, and so I know what is educational and what is people on the internet trying to scare me. So my love for them now is not riddled with fear any longer. Of course, sharks are still, generally speaking, dangerous animals. I'm not one of the people that think you should mess around with them at all. Just because they're not evil does not mean they aren't dangerous to be around. Especially as someone without proper experience or training or even knowledge. Even nurse sharks, which are my favorite, which is why they are all over the background. There are a lot of people online that are of the belief that they are totally harmless and won't ever do anything at all, which they are more docile than most, but they are still sharks, and a lot of people will mess around with them and then discover that they are still sharks. The other thing you might notice is the kinless. I just want to say that I'm putting that there in a silly hee hee haha I relate to this character, let's match profile pictures kind of way, and not in a Nagito finger incident kind of way. Okay, I think that's everything. I've been wanting to do a introduction style video for this channel for a while now, so I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed hearing me ramble about myself, which feels a little embarrassing. And if this is your first video ever, I hope you consider sticking around. Bye!